Rob Grimes with Tech Advisor Media. I'm here at CES and I'm with Brian Tedesco, who's the founder and CEO of ChargerLeash, which is sort of one of those new ideas that jumps out as having applications in hospitality and food service. So Brian,
hey Rob, how are you?
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
So
thanks for coming.
Let me see if I can do my best at explaining what we're seeing here, and then you'll fill in the gaps. How about that, okay?
We pay in food and water, so go at it, Rob. Absolutely.
Okay, well great. So this is called a ChargerLeash.
Yes.
And the idea here is that a traveler or someone who's plugging in a device is going to, when they leave, if they unplug their device from it, unplug their phone or their tablet or whatever, it's going to set off an alarm.
Yep.
To allow them to remember to take the leash. The power cord.
And their adapter.
And the adapter.
Expensive,
right.
Absolutely.
And the idea is because people spend 20, 30, 40 bucks a pop on these kinds of things that are always leaving them behind.
At a minimum. And the worst, Rob, that I came up with the idea, like you, I'm a serial traveler, and I just got tired of not only leaving these behind, but not having the juice in my phone when I needed my phone. When your battery's dead and you're in New York and your charger's in Miami, it's a pain.
I've left chargers and I've left the cords, behind on the plane. I've left them in hotel rooms and things. It's really a pain.
It's a growing problem, and I mean, we have a quick shot. If your audience can see a shot of just 1 week at a famous hotel, this is a growing problem. And what a lot of people are doing are carrying 2 or 3 different cables in their possession, just so they have a cable and they don't lose it. It's amazing.
So that pile of cables down there, what you're talking about is what the hotel and people collect over time, housekeeping collects
Exactly.
it. Somebody sits there and says, I forgot my cable. They pull out a box. Here you go, right?
That's it. And there isn't a way for a portable device user to prevent themselves from leaving that hotel room until ChargerLeash came on the market. There's nothing on the market like this.
So here's the idea. So really what ought to happen is for the frequent flyers and the frequent travelers and things, the hotel, the airline companies and stuff ought to just give these to their clients.
It would save them not only the hassle, the money, and I think it's a great way of
save them
telling the story.
storage space on the box.
For
right?
sure.
And it'll make it easier. Well, no, I mean, you're giving something, they're not going to leave it behind, they're always going to remember who you are, right?
That's right.
Okay,
and it's a good story.
All right, so I get the application for the traveler. It's a reason why they ought to be doing it. What's this box right here?
So, one of the things we're doing here at CES Show, besides talking about this unique technology, is we're introducing a couple different products. One is our 2-in-1 cable. For all you Lightning, Apple 6, and iPhone 5 lovers, and you micro guys, we have the 2-in-1 cable. Then we have what you pointed to here, Rob. This is a typical USB input with Australian, European adapter, universal charger adapter. What we've done is
South Africa and India.
And I'm gonna throw that right there. And you have your inputs.
Okay.
So everything that you need to travel the world is in one of these travel adapters. What the travel adapter with the ChargerLeash technology will give you is the ability to have an alarm, just like our cable, so that when you disconnect your portable device, you don't leave.
So wait a minute. So actually, if you had one of your cables plugged in it, you'd have a double alarm system.
You'd have
right?
a double alarm system.
Because you don't want to leave that box behind either. And this box may not be used with a charger cable on it. It might be used just for plugging something in.
That's exactly right. So that's why we've incorporated, and if your audience can see, there is a ChargerLeash alarm feature inside this standard travel adapter. You don't need to buy the ChargerLeash cable. You can buy the travel adapter, and everything you need to be able to prevent you from leaving this behind is already built in.
Okay, so this is not out yet, right?
Not out yet.
Okay.
This is a prototype I'm holding in my hand, as well as the 2-in-1 is not out yet. But
okay.
Within the next month.
All right, so here's the question for you. So we're working on next generation development here. Where does this go? Because this is a pretty simple concept. Get it? It's something that's needed. You guys have a patent on it, right?
We worldwide, and that's the best compliment I can have. It's a simple solution.
So it's simple. So here's the piece that's missing. The piece that's missing is on the device itself. We've seen people come up with applications like a Bluetooth application or something that says when you're a distance from the charger or you're leaving your phone behind somewhere. So is there some sort of application that would, let's just brainstorm. Is there some sort of application here that would fit in that you would actually put on the device side of this?
Because we have the ability of incorporating, Rob, our module, let's call it our PCB board, so our computer chip inside, we can send communication signals from this to a phone with the correct app. So we're currently working with a couple app developers to do things like when your phone has reached a certain charge state.
Right.
The ChargerLeash goes on. Yeah, sets off an alarm. The other is when you disconnect your phone and you have the ability of leaving and the alarm goes off. Before the alarm goes off, you can hit a button on the app and that'll deactivate the alarm.
So, okay, all right.
So a remote sort of snooze feature.
Okay, now, Is there an issue with overcharging a device?
Huge. The biggest problem that our portable device world gives us is we've got a lot of information streaming all day long.
Okay.
Batteries go down fast.
Right.
The biggest problem with the live nightcap battery in terms of its capacity is overcharging it. You start diminishing the amount of battery life that a battery over a period of time, if you overcharge it, has. So you've got smart applications. Apple has one. I know Android on my Android phone has one. That application basically prevents you from overcharging. That's right.
Right.
But
okay.
it's not audible.
All right, but what? All right. So let's just follow this. So what you're thinking is that next generation, you use the alarm that's in here to recognize the device that's connected to it,
That's
and
correct.
to sit there and say your device is fully charged, time to unplug.
That's correct.
All right. So here's where
That's correct.
So here's where it goes. Okay. Because I was starting to think about the security side of this, because people always worry about devices walking off. All right, I haven't really asked you that question, but what I do see is a lot of portable devices now being used in restaurants or hotels, tablets. They're constantly charging them in. They have charging stations that they're building for them. And the idea, twofold. Number one, energy consumption,
Yep.
you know, and sustainability. And then number two, not to draw down and reduce the battery life of that device by using an alarm. So the future for you in this is actually to put that in, sell this commercially to people who are giving out multiple devices and using a charging station, you know, for them in actuality to increase the life of the device and the investment that they make.
Rob, I couldn't have said, I mean, that's the direction for a technology like this isn't in what we see here today. What I tried to do for everybody coming to the CES show is show people that there is a different type of technology that can be used for portable device accessories. Now, to your point, hotel industry,
Right.
Airline industry. These are guys that are constantly catering to travelers.
Well, restaurants are now doing it too.
Restaurants
they're
as well.
Porters, so they're putting in ports, they're putting tableside kiosks.
These public charging stations become the enemy to a battery. These public charging stations become an enemy to people losing or forgetting the stuff behind.
Right.
Our technology can be adapted in a lot of different form factors. The two you mentioned, I like. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, Rob.
But that piece about the saving on the battery life, that particular part of it is something that you could be actually very close to doable now, because you're talking about a software application
Very easy.
that exists already on Android and Apple devices, that what you're talking about is just the integration of the signal between this device and the actual phone application itself.
Exactly.
So how far off are we on that?
I'm going to say with the companies that I'm talking to right now, and these are developing companies that do nothing but app, we're giving them the hardware. A month, 2 months, I think we're going to be back.
Probably pretty close.
We're going to be
All right,
back.
so what about the security feature? What about if I don't want these things walking off?
This was something we sort of fell into, Rob.
Okay.
You know, like when you come up with an idea on a product, not necessarily it's the same path you always take. So, a quick shot for your audience is I tried to build a replication of an airport charging station.
Okay.
So, typically what you have in an airport is you've got a public charging station, you've got this table is littered with phones.
Right.
If you walk away, and it can happen, I walk away with this and I disconnect, within a couple seconds before I take my phone, I walk away, you're going to hear that beeping. What that beeping tells you is this my phone? Did I take somebody else's phone? And if I took somebody else's phone, hopefully it wasn't intentional, but it gives the person to stop, say, hey, I'm sorry, Rob, I took your phone, there's my phone right here, and leave.
I'm still back to the idea now of
loss prevention,
of people actually giving these things away to their loyal travelers and customers, because
it
just seems to me it's a great service. Nothing frustrates them more, by leaving those cables behind, and you would always have a memory. Are you able to actually print a logo on this or something for that?
100%.
100%.
Rob, one of the things that I've been thinking about with everything we're doing here at the CES show isn't so much promoting ChargerLeash, the brand, is promoting the technology. Because prior to this show, this technology didn't exist. So if Hilton shows up, or if United Airlines shows up and says, hey, we think this is a great travel gift for our, putting the word Hilton on there or United would be a godsend, would be great to get the technology out there.
Well, great. Listen, I appreciate your time. It's a cool idea. And
thanks, Rob.
Look forward to some big
everybody.
things coming up.
Appreciate
Rob
it.
Grimes for Tech Advisor Media, and thank you for joining us today.